On the news, Senate makes U-turn, deletes compulsory direct primary clause from electoral bill. Nnamdi Kanu pleads not guilty to treasonable felony charges as court adjourns trial till February 16. And the Gambia's Adama Barrow inaugurated for second term as president. A warm welcome to News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Mary Kanu. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has pleaded not guilty to the 15-count charge preferred against him by the federal government of Nigeria. Kanu pleaded not guilty before Justice Bita Yako when the case resumed at the Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday. In a brief ruling, Justice Yako noted that since Kanu's first application is challenging the propriety of his trial as well as the competence of a charge against him, the court ought to hear it first. The court subsequently adjourned till February 16 to hear the pending application. Meanwhile, in an interview with journalists after the court session, Kanu's lead counsel, Mike Ozekome, explained that he had on Tuesday evening filed a 43-page objection for the charge to be struck out without the matter proceeding to trial. On his part, the prosecution counsel, Labaran Magajim, said the defense was only deploying delay tactics.
The court is duty-bound to look at that application, take argument, and then decide it one way or the other before the matter can proceed. And of course, our application is fundamental, it's intrinsic to this trial. And the judge agreed with us, telling the prosecution, there's no way you can tell me to start trial. What if we start trial and then the appellate court finally quashes whatever we do here? So she was right. That is the legal position. By the time the court hears us and takes a look at this application, she will discover that there's actually no case before her at all to waste the precious time of this honorable court.
One thing that is very interesting that Nigerians should be looking out for is the fact that one of the counts suggesting that the defendant, Nnamdi Kanu, is a member of IPOB, and he vehemently denied being a member of IPOB. That is very curious, and we urge Nigerians to see us through how we are going to prove all those charges against the defendants in no time to come.
Following President Muhammadu Buhari's decision to hold back the sent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, the Senate has deleted Clause 87 of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which provides for a compulsory direct primary poll for all political parties in the country. But change was made to the legislation after Senate leader Yahaya Abubakar sponsored a motion in the upper legislative chamber on Wednesday. Senator Abubakar asked his colleagues to revoke the chamber's decision on Clause 84 of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill of 2021 passed by the National Assembly on November 18, 2021. Accordingly, the Chamber in Clause 84 subsection 2 of the report approved direct, indirect primaries or consensus as procedure for the nomination of candidates by political parties for the various elective positions.
President Commander-in-Chief has signified the withholding of his assent to the Electoral Act No. 6, 2010, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2021, which was passed by the National Assembly and forwarded to the President for assent on the 18th of November 2021. And Order 52.6 of the Senate Standing Orders 2022 is amended. The Senate, accordingly, resolved to rescind its decision on the affected clause expert and recommit the same to the Committee of the Whole for reconsideration.
What we have done today is to respond to the observations of Mr. President and the calls by our constituents and other stakeholders on the need for us to expedite action on addressing those observations made by Mr. President. And we have done that very, very patriotically. Today, as the bill stands, there is provision for all the possible options for selection of candidates from the presidency to the councillorship.
Well, joining me to discuss this further is Monday Ubani, second vice president and current chairman, NBA section on public interest and development law. Well, thank you for joining me on the news. Now, did it come to you as a surprise that the Senate finally caved in to delete the clause which made direct primaries compulsory for political parties?
Thank you. I think the idea of the president declining assent gave room to a lot of people suggesting the best way out because it would be very disastrous for us to conduct 2023 general election with 2010 Electoral Act. And so the suggestion is that whatever you consider the president has considered offensive, go ahead and remove it, and then let the president be made to sign the new electoral amendment bill into law, so that we can have a new legal framework for electoral process, that will soon commence in 2023. So I think since they didn't have the courage to override the presidency with regards to the law, the bill itself, the best option was for them to probably remove the offensive in quote, clause, which what they have done now, so that the president will have no other excuse to decline assent.
Now that the Senate has given political parties the option of either direct or indirect primaries, now how do you think these will shape the 2023 election year, especially at the primaries level?
It will be an interesting scenario. I think that a lot of people were saying that it wasn't right for the National Assembly to have actually left only one option, that there should be room for people to choose which other option they consider very convenient. And that is what the Senate has done now by that amendment. They say, well, you can come by where you can elect your candidate by direct or indirect or even by consensus. So that has been the argument of certain persons before now, that it was not right for them to have actually made it impossible for other options. So that is the argument. But there are those who feel that direct primaries will give a lot of more people that participatory power in electoral process, because it's almost all the members of the political party that will be involved in electing the primary candidates that will go and contest the general election. Now that the president has raised an objection, and it would have actually stalled the electoral amendment bill for 2023 election, let's go ahead and make it open that you can choose direct, you can choose indirect, you can also choose a consensus option in order to elect your primary candidate. But the most important thing is that the participation of the people must not be taken for granted, because that is actually the meaning of democracy. It's a government of the people, for the people, and by the, so the people must be given that opportunity to participate in electing those who will represent the political parties. And then at the general election, the same people must be given that power to make their choices of those that will govern Nigeria. So the participatory segment of it must not be taken away. And that is the advice one is actually laying on the table for the political parties as we each towards a 2023 general election.
Oh, all right. Monday Ubani, the second vice president and current chairman, NBA section on public interest and development law. Thank you for joining me on the news and for your contributions. Moving on, as the election year draws close, various aspirants have emerged publicly declaring their intention to run for Nigeria's highest political post. Political groups are not left out as they remain relentless in their efforts to garner support for their candidates of choice. The grassroots network for Asiwaju Tinubu, GNAT, a national political platform, has thrown its weight behind national leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and presidential aspirant Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Our correspondent Simisola Adigun tells us more in this report.
With 716 days until the 2023 general elections, about 7 political heavyweights have declared their interest to run for presidency. After numerous assumptions, APC national leader Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu recently announced to President Muhammadu Buhari that he intends to run for the #1 seat. Popularly referred to as the Kingmaker, Tinubu noted that nothing stops him from contesting for the post.
All you want to hear is a categorical declaration. You've gotten that truth from me that I've informed the Mr. President of my ambition.
Various political groups have so far declared support for the former governor, one of which is the Grassroots Network for Asiwaju Tinubu GNAT, made up of former local government chairmen, councillors, sole administrators and executive secretaries across the 774 local governments in Nigeria. The group says Nigerians will undoubtedly experience the relief they have always yearned for.
No government, dead or living, has created agencies to help in driving the machinery of government and its policies more than Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The creation of these agencies has helped to create millions of employment opportunities for Lagosians.
To be able to let every Nigerian know that we are not just only canvassing for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu because he was our principal in Lagos and still our principal, but because with his antecedent, he was able to give us a Lagos of our dream, such that every other state are coming to borrow from how governance should be.
Speaking on his expertise, other stakeholders attest to Tinubu's ability to rule the populous black nation based on his long years on the political scene and vast knowledge of the intricacies of Nigerian politics.
We must show the world that we can organize a peaceful primary. We must show the world that we can be better organized, and we must demonstrate to the world that Asiwaju is more than capable to give us and take us to the Nigeria of our dreams.
When you start talking about democracy, I was there in 1999 up to today, and I can tell you of the truth. This man had been grinded, had been prepared in and out up to this moment.
About 41 million members of the APC are registered across the country, and with the party's national convention fixed for February 26, party leaders and members are urged to use the convention as an opportunity to deliver more people-oriented policies and reflect on its ideals over the years. Simisola Adigun, TV360, Lagos.
The Chief Whip of the Senate, Orji Uzor Kalu, has described other aspirants vying for the 2023 presidential seat as unserious. The lawmaker representing Abia North Senatorial District made this known while briefing State House correspondents shortly before Wednesday's plenary about his visit to President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday night. Kalu says if the party decides to zone the presidency to the south region of the country, he would declare his intention to run, but if done otherwise, he would return to the Senate as a federal lawmaker.
Party zone the 2023 presidential ticket to Southeast. I told you before, I'm not a liar. It's only when the party zones it officially to the south. I told you before, the only two zones that have not been president, the Southeast and the Northeast. Once they zone it to any one of them, I have the capacity and the capability. And I will roll and I will rock like hurricane. I don't believe in Igbo president. I believe in Nigerian president of Igbo extraction. It's only APC people, like we're going to have our convention, will decide where the presidential ticket will go to. If they say it, I have everything it takes to make a good president.
Elizabeth Eke-Oseye has emerged the best graduating student from the University of Lagos for the 2019 and 2020 academic session. Out of 12,217 graduating students, about 7,799 received their first degree, while a total of 274 students blazed the trail by emerging with a first class for the 2019 and 2020 academic session. Our correspondent Mojisola Matomi now reports.
It's the 52nd convocation ceremony of the University of Lagos. It is known to be the time of the year when graduates in their ceremonial gowns and caps are excited for the journey so far and can't fully contain their joy. The ceremony commenced with the traditional procession of the senior officials of the university into the JF Adeajayi Auditorium, where the 3 days event would take place. Vice-Chancellor of the institution, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, set the tone of the day with his opening speech and reiterated the need to imbibe research culture to help in the development of the country.
In the University of Lagos under my watch has been a research powerhouse, I am convinced that long after I have left the saddle, this culture of research excellence and impact will continue to the advancement of the University of Lagos brand and the development of our country and continent.
21-year-old Elizabeth Ekeoseye emerged as the overall best graduating student with a cumulative grading point of 4.95 out of the possible 5 points and encouraged graduating students to excel in various fields and be great ambassadors of the institution.
This set of 2019-2020 graduates, I salute you. You have made it through a number of difficult times and have emerged strong. Here at the University of Lagos, the University of First Choice and Nation's Pride, we receive a high standard of education that is unrivaled. We stand duly equipped to take on victoriously the challenges life throws at us. So regardless of your grades, shortcomings or pitfalls, the future is unknown. The paintbrush is in your hands. The canvas is before you. Paint it with God's help into what you want it to be. Finally, I want to remind you that this is your day. Celebrate it.
I feel good, I feel great, giving God thanks. My advice to other parents that they should always back their children up with prayers. They should pray and tell God what they want their children to become, and God is there to answer prayers.
Another excited graduate is Oluwakemi Ladejobi, who finished with a 4.7 CGPA. She says finishing the degree is only a head start to a continuous cycle of learning.
I want to further my studies and I want to put my degree to good use. I studied French, and Nigeria is an Anglophone country surrounded by Francophone countries, and the population is not bilingual enough. So I want to be the person that bridges that gap between the Francophone audience and the Anglophone audience of Africa.
As the graduating students are released into the labor market, many are hopeful that they would play a key role in bringing solutions to the many problems bedeviling the country. Mojisola Matomi, TV360, Lagos.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, Lagos completes purchase of 2 Talgo trains for Red Line Rail project. We'll bring you details of the story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of our top stories. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has pleaded not guilty to the 15-count charge preferred against him by the federal government. Kanu pleaded not guilty before Justice Binta Yako when the case resumed at the Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday. The IPOB leader had objected to taking a plea on Tuesday on the basis that he had not been briefed on the fresh charges against him. We also told you that following President Muhammadu Buhari's decision to hold back assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, the Senate has deleted Clause 87 of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which provides for a compulsory direct primary poll for all political parties in the country. The change was made to the legislation after Senate leader Yahaya Abubakar sponsored a motion in the upper legislative chamber on Wednesday. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, log onto our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Nigeria on Tuesday recorded 163 positive COVID-19 samples across 12 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. According to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC), Lagos State, the epicenter of the disease, topped the infection chart with 59 cases, followed by the FCT and Delta State with 33 and 16 cases respectively. These new cases bring the total confirmed infections in the country to 251,341. While the fatality toll now stands at 3,116. And the World Health Organization has warned that the COVID-19 pandemic is far from over, as France, Germany and Brazil posted new records of infections in the past 24 hours. The highly transmissible Omicron variant has spread unabated around the world, pushing some governments to impose fresh measures while speeding up the rollout of vaccine booster shots. Meanwhile, WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus has warned against dismissing Omicron as mild, as the dominant COVID strain continues to flare new outbreaks.
Omicron may be less severe, on average, of course, but the narrative that it is mild disease is misleading, hurts the overall response, and costs more lives. Make no mistake, Omicron is causing hospitalizations and deaths, and even the less severe cases are inundating health facilities. The virus is circulating far too intensely, with many still vulnerable. For many countries, the next few weeks remain really critical for health workers and health systems. More than 7 million whole genome sequences from 180 countries have now been submitted to GISAID, which was initially set up to track flu. This pandemic is nowhere near over, and with the incredible growth of Omicron globally, new variants are likely to emerge, which is why tracking and assessment remain critical.
Well, we'll take a break here and return with more stories in business. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Let's now join Simisola Adigun for the latest in business. Over to you, Simisola.
Thank you, Mary. In business, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has completed the acquisition deal of the trains at a public event inside the Milwaukee facilities of Spanish train manufacturer Talgo Incorporated in the United States on Tuesday. In a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary of the state, Boyega Akosile, the trains will be heading to Lagos for the Red Line, a 37-kilometer track rail project started by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Speaking at the event, Governor Sanwo-Olu said the Lagos state government is excited to complete the purchase of the two brand new trains. The Red Line will have 11 stations when completed, and it will be the first operational metro system in West Africa. We'll take a short break and be back with a review of the stock market. The Nigerian stock market ended bullish yet again, retaining gains from Tuesday's trading. The benchmark all-share index moved up 1.73% to close at 45,430, while market capitalization stands at 24 trillion naira. In the aggregate, 113 NGX equities participated in trading today, ending with 16 gainers and 17 losers. Airtel Africa and Cornerstone Insurance Company had the top spot on the gainers counter, leading leading with a whooping 156 naira 3 kobo. On the losing side, FTN Cocoa Processors is closely followed by Consolidated Hallmark Insurance, leading the pack with a combined 1 naira loss. For today's trading session, volume of 252 million valued at 8.9 billion naira, exchange hands in 4,218 deals. Now let's see how the market ended for select global stocks. UK's FTSE reversed losses from Tuesday's trading, ending bullish. The nation experienced the highest inflation rate in 3 decades today, raising the chances of a February interest rate hike. Meanwhile, investors are zeroing in on next week's federal policy meeting for more clarity on central banks' next moves to rein in inflation. The same cannot be said for the Dow Jones and Nikkei. They both retained market sentiments from previous day trading, remaining in the reds. Well, hopefully trading sentiments will improve soon enough. That's all on Stock Market Report. Back to you, Mary.
Well, thank you for that update, Simisola. Now on the global scene, various heads of state and high-level dignitaries joined thousands of Gambia's citizens in the coastal town of Kalu, the Gambia, to witness the swearing-in of Adama Barrow for a second term. Barrow won the December 4th presidential election with around 53% of the vote, but his nearest rival garnering 28%. Barrow won his first term in 2017 after springing a surprise against former longtime President Yahya Jammeh, who ruled the West African nation for 22 years. After being declared the winner of the December 2021 election, President Barrow called on Gambians to unite in the interest of the country. Well, up next is Entertainment Report.
Popular Nigerian comedian A.Y. Makun and his wife Mabel have welcomed the baby girl 13 years after their first child, Michelle. The comedian posted the good news on his Instagram page on Tuesday, January 18, 2022, where he shared a video of his wife and their newborn baby. The celebrity couple, who celebrated their 13th wedding anniversary in November 2021, revealed they had known each other for 17 years. A big congratulations to the Makuns. Recording Academy has announced that the 2022 Grammy Awards has been rescheduled for April 2nd, 2022. Chief Executive Officer of the Recording Academy, Ave Mason, made this known in a statement on Tuesday. He also revealed that the event, which was usually held in Los Angeles, will take place in Las Vegas for the first time. The event, which was formerly slated to hold on January 31st, was postponed due to the risks surrounding the new COVID-19 Omicron variant. And that is all that we have for you on the entertainment segment of News Now.
Now in sports, four-time Africa Cup of Nations champions Ghana were eliminated from the AFCON tournament after crashing 3-2 to Comoros in Group C on Tuesday in Garowe. The Black Stars had captain Andre Ayew sent off after 25 minutes and after wiping out a 2-goal deficit, lost when Ahmed Mogni scored his second goal 5 minutes from time. Ghana had put in disjointed displays in their first 2 games, a 1-0 defeat by Morocco and a 1-1 draw with Gabon, and finished bottom of the group table. Meanwhile, Morocco and Gabon drew 2-2 in the same group to retain first and second places respectively to qualify for the round of 16, which kicks off on Sunday, while Nigeria's Super Eagles are set to take on Guinea-Bissau on Wednesday, although the 3-time African champions have advanced into the round of 16. Well, to analyze the AFCON tournament so far, I'm now being joined on the news by Jide Olaniran, a sports analyst. Well, thank you for joining me on the news. Now, the historic night between Ghana and Comoros ended on both a positive and a negative note. Now, Ghana knocked out of the tournament and debutants Comoros on their way to a possible place in the round of 16. The tournament seems to be getting tough at this stage. Now, what do you make of Ghana's defeat and eventual elimination?
For Ghana, nobody saw it coming, because when you have a team, a group that has Comoros, Morocco, and Gabon. Of course, looking at the names and what the pedigree of some of these teams are, you will want to pick Ghana and Morocco to move into the next, to progress into the next stage. But unfortunately, Ghana, the last time this happened to them was probably in 2006 when they couldn't progress beyond the group stage. This is a tragedy for their football, I must say. It can be equated to a tragedy because Ghanaians are passionate about their football. Ghanaians feel that when you talk about football on the continent of Africa, they are one of the powerhouses. And for them to be thrown out by Comoros, an island that's about 900,000 people, I think that is unheard of, and that is an upset. And that is one thing that will linger on in the minds of Ghanaians for years to come. Because I think Ghana, if things are not put together in proper perspective, this might affect even their World Cup playoffs if they are not careful.
Oh, all right. Now, let's come back home now to Nigeria. In some hours, the Super Eagles will take on Guinea-Bissau. The last time the Eagles won all group games, Austin Eguavoen was in charge of the team. Now, do you see him achieving the same feat and Nigeria moving to the round of 16 with a 100% record? Is this possible?
It's possible. Why not? The team is playing very well at this time. It's not as if they've just been lucky. Yes, luck is also an element of football, but they've been able to play together as a team. It seems that the momentum is building, and they have been able to strut their stuff. The team is on a winning streak. Yeah. And there's something about confidence that is working for them right now. Having won against a highly rated Egypt national team, Pharaohs, in the first game, and winning Sudan, I think that it is not new to Eguavoen, because the last time he was in charge, that was in Tunisia, yeah, 2004 to be precise. Nigeria won all the 3 games at the group stage. So, and it's good for 100% records. This kind of victory will keep boosting the morale of the players with the confidence that they can do it and one game at a time. And with what the reports that we are getting, the team seems to be in a high mood. They've been in a good mood, and they are ready to get the job done today. And I feel they can get the job done.
Oh, all right, Jide Olaniran, sports analyst, thank you for joining me on the news and for your contributions. Well, that's the size of a bulletin at this time. Well, thank you for watching. I am Nnamdi Kanu. Bye for now.